It is day 22, 12:36 p.m. And it's another bright and sunny day here in Windenburg, and the housemates are enjoying the sun in the garden. We see right by the gravestones, Tyson and Emmanuel are having a little bro moment.
Steve Charso Denoy.
Simbab Kriko.
Flagisi.
Shamabu.
Doba.
Huh? Wani.
Halesho Weeby. Fues.
Yana? Brataplatz.
Meanwhile, Jesse continues their fitness journey, and Sophia encourages on the sidelines while playing chess.
Ibara? Wigtow.
In the showers, Pete and Haven have a little conversation. I feel like they're in here just to get some privacy, to get away from Kate. I feel like if Kate sees Pete talking to anyone at this point, it might start another fight.
Tashibi, Nyafloof.
Smine, Zorpelhish.
Oh, Risha Rebo.
And while Kaylee relaxes in the pool, Jesse is not the only one on a fitness journey. In fact, Emma has been working hard and is next to hit the weights. And while everyone in the main house might be relaxing and enjoying the sun, that is not the case in BB's attic. As we see, Ashton and Bryson have gotten into another scuffle, and the two of them just cannot get along. And I feel sorry for these boys. I feel like it's hard enough to argue with someone and be locked in a room with them, but to also have rats crawling all over your feet? No thank you. I think I would have already quit by now. (3:43 p.m.) We have our second fire in the house this week. I'm sure it has to do with the house being cursed and haunted, but this time it is burning Emmanuel. Thankfully, like all of our Sims this season, have been very prompt with putting out the fire. They've done it right away, and no one really got hurt. That being said, I love that no one actually does anything about it either. Like, they don't put out the fire, they don't try to repair the TVs that are right by the fire. They just kind of look at the problem and move right along. However, Kate has something to say. She's not too happy about Emmanuel starting a fire. She's not happy about the distress of the house. And this little moment makes her go off. I feel bad for Emmanuel. Like, not only did he almost die in the fire, but now he has to get yelled at by Kate too. And like always with Kate recently, it turns physical. It's funny because I feel like the main house and BB's attic are just totally different vibes. When one of them is happy, the other one is fighting. Now that the main house is fighting, everyone is chill in the attic. But the boys better prepare themselves because tonight they're leaving the attic and meeting some housemates. And after a little bit of chaos, the housemates are back to trying to relax. However, for some reason, Emmanuel has decided to wash off all that burnt skin with an ice-cold bath. I don't really know why he's doing the ice plunge right now, but hopefully he survives. And in the living room, it seems as though things are getting kind of spicy between Lillian and Jesse.
Naya Floof, Moochie Peachy.
And this is around the time I realized that I haven't seen Kristen all day, and that's because she's been glitched out behind the camera runs. But she now has an excellent view of all the lovemaking going on in the bedroom. However, outside, it seems as though Kate has been possessed by a mean spirit. Maybe that explains all of the fighting that's been going on with her recently, but I do keep randomly seeing this red aura glow around her. And Tice decides that now is the perfect time to strut his stuff upstairs in his little hot pants and look at the sun through the telescope. Meanwhile, back up in the attic, it seems as though the only thing to really make these boys be in a pleasant mood is music. They don't really care that much about the television, they don't really eat that much of the food, and the only way they can get past all of the rats is by dancing it away to some weird, spooky music. Hopefully, while they're dancing though, they don't squish a rat or two. Or maybe hopefully they do? But the housemates in the main house need to enjoy this nice relaxation period while they can, because come nightfall, they're not going to be too focused on playing on the iPad or playing some foosball. Instead, they're gonna have ghosts and spirits abound, and 4 new mischievous ghosts are going to haunt them. So they better prepare.
Seraphi, Kalu, Pizoi Brabani. Zamona Zaro, Buquam Kravi.
6:11 p.m.
Noosh noosh.
While Kaylee and Emma still continue their conversation outside in the garden, Tice decides to interrupt them and get the moves on Emma. I don't know who's been really feeling her today. The two of them aren't really off and on, I would say, but I feel like they woohoo, and then I don't really see too much after that. But today they've really been kissing on one another and being around each other, and once he asked if it's time for them to practice lovemaking, of course we make her agree, duh, and the two of them head to the bedroom. But Kaylee doesn't look that amused by having to watch that whole interaction. She was having a good time with Emma. But I mean, I would be complaining too if I had a love life like Kaylee. She probably picked the worst couple to try to have a trouble with. And as Sophia relaxes in the pool, in the attic, it's back to fighting, okay? It's like they fight, and then they'll listen to some music and dance, and then they'll fight, and then they'll piss themselves, which is the step we're in currently. And of course Ashton pissed himself because someone decided to prank the toilet, and now the toilet is broken. And instead of repairing it, they just pee themselves. So, you know, that's great. Thankfully, Ashton can actually take a warm bath, unlike Emmanuel downstairs. And while Lillian vacuums the showers, Sophia decides that she's going to use the urinal. I don't really know what's going on. Like, I know Sophia is trans, however, we have everything marked as female on Create-A-Sim, and peeing and pregnancy and all of that, so just a little awkward. Meanwhile, in the storage room, Pete enjoys his favorite food, some ice cream. I swear he's the only one that ever makes it, and he's constantly eating it. Maybe he's sometimes in a bad mood because he's having to battle brain freeze. Meanwhile, Emmanuel seems to be stuck in the bathroom because Emma is giving the gluck to Tice in the bedroom. And he's only a few feet away, and he manages to muster up the courage to leave the bathroom and try to escape the bedroom. And he actually makes it pretty far. Like, he gets all the way to the door. And then once he sees some up-close shots of what's going on, he turns around and hides in the corner. Meanwhile, Sophia, on the other hand, does not care what's going on in the bedroom. She seems to be upset about something. She was just relaxing in the pool, but now she seems to have been brought to tears and is crying in her bed. And of course, you know, Pete has to do dishes in the bathroom instead of the sink in the kitchen, even though I have already selected which. Anyway, Emmanuel does stare at the corner for a little bit and then finally gets enough courage to fully leave the room. Hopefully he's not too scarred after seeing what's going down. Our ghosts in the attic are still suffering with a full bladder, but thankfully they are trying to get past it by bonding with one another instead of fighting. And I think Bryson and Gavin might actually be forming a nice bond, but we'll see if they're able to stick together and make it to the house, or if one of them will be sent packing on Friday. And it seems as though Zane has decided to man up and be the sim to actually repair the toilet. Let's see if he can do it successfully. "10:10 p.m. The seance room upstairs is now unlocked, and our housemates reluctantly go up there for another nasty, ghoulish night in the Big Brother house.
Canad Fanusa.
Well, Daisy.
Once everyone is seated, I am actually alerted that the ghost that comes with the paranormal pack is paying a visit to the Big Brother house. However, I never see him. I looked around the camera runs, I looked around the studio, I looked around all over the place, never saw the guy. So that was pretty disappointing. But it looks as though Kristen is first up to try her hand again at being a medium. I'm sure she still hopes of bringing Addison back, but again, it's not going to happen.
Oh, Basky Gazoo. Uh-huh. Yep.
However, what the housemates don't know is that they're actually calling upon the BB ghost. Now, I've made a little club that makes them like pranking, being mischievous, telling jokes, scaring people, and they have a nice little new CC costume. That way it'll hide their identity and they won't know exactly who is in the house with them. And they are all unleashed and welcomed into the seance room. But of course, Zane has to kind of ruin all of this by waiting to change into his costume once he finally gets there. So, I mean, all of them now see that it's a random, but, you know, whatever. Apart from that, so far so good. Now it's time for them to wreak havoc on the rest of the housemates. And immediately, one of the ghosts have set their sights on Emmanuel and gave him a little kiss. Now, the only issue I do have with this costume is, yeah, they do seal their identity from the other Sims, but they also seal the identity to myself as well. So now I'm having to, like, stare at the legs to figure out who is who under that cloak. For a lot of the Sims, it looks as though these new arrivals have sparked some energy in them, and they all have to instantly start working out for no reason. While the others are, you know, slowly beginning to talk to the ghost in front of them.
Bin drop.
Alupar, Alupar, Nokoi. Oh.
It's officially day 23 in the Big Brother house, as it is now 12:08 a.m. And guess what? We have another fight on our hands. Can you guess who it is with? Huh? Kristen and Kate. Yeah, duh, of course it's Kate. She's been getting in numerous fights now. And I love that instantly after getting in a fight, one of the ghosts pranks her. Just to put the cherry on top. We see that Tice is choosing to spend this time practicing the medium skill instead of getting to know the new ghosts that have arrived. And I love that because they aren't real ghosts, that when spooky things still happen in the room, all of the ghosts quiver underneath their sheets.
Son!
Sure.
This is Stu.
And we can see that a ghost has pranked Kate once again. And I gotta say, these ghosts are pushing their limits. Especially with her. I feel like it's only a matter of time before she's punching a ghost in the face. And I gotta say, especially since Kate has been possessed with this mean spirit, I don't exactly know what to do with her. I don't want to keep giving her strikes. I also don't want her only interaction with people to be fist fighting. Like, I don't exactly know what to do with her. She's just so severely unhappy in the house. And obviously the best solution for that is locking her up in a cage in the garden. I don't know. I just know in a cage, at least she can't keep rule breaking. And also, obviously, it's funny and fun to lock Sims in cages. So that's where she's going to be spending the rest of her week, or until she gets an exorcism. I'm also intrigued as to how a BB ghost is going to affect any of these new housemates once they enter the house on Friday. Is all this mischief and mayhem going to cause rifts with them in the group? Are people going to hold it against them and nominate them? Or will they move past all of it and find it fun and get along with them? I'm just intrigued to see how they interact once they're actually in the house and out of the attic. But, of course, I got a special little twist planned to figure out who enters the house as well, and all of that will be revealed on Friday. I also love seeing them in these costumes, like using their phone and stuff because their arms are gone. So you do weirdly have shots of like floating phones or floating fingernails. It's pretty strange. And whenever they do stuff like do sit-ups, it looks pretty crazy. But because of the skin and everything, I can tell this one is at least Bryson.
Well, that's stubborn.
And thanks to Kristen's dedication at earning more medium skill points, we have now been upgraded to heroic mode, which is fun for me, not so fun for the rest of the house, as now they will have more ghosts, more spirits, we're going to have voodoo dolls, we're going to have evil plants. Everything is going to get a lot crazier for the last day of the shopping task. Thankfully, Kate is pretty safe from all the supernatural in her little cage. But with the distraction of a working television and 4 ghosts in the room, will they be able to earn enough skill points to pass the task? We'll also find that out tomorrow. Now, in terms of the vote, I did think about extending it because the episode was a couple hours late yesterday. I thought about extending it a couple hours today. However, we are still going to be closing the vote 3 hours after this video has been posted, 5 p.m. Central Time here in the US. I think we have enough votes to do a full count, and I'm pretty excited to see what the results are on Friday. Come back tomorrow for a brand new episode and see if the housemates pass their task, and I'm giving someone a secret mission. So stay tuned for that as well. Make sure you get your votes in before the voting is closed tonight. And when it comes to giving me hate, let's keep it up because I'm loving the engagement. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.